Hi, all. The computer just said you're live. The last few weeks, I have been focusing on giving you an understanding that I think is critical. When I was in junior high, and most of you know, I had what today is called ADD, and I was dyslexic. There was a girl in my school. Her name was Della. And Della approached me one day. I was in some of her classes and said, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Sure." She said, "How are you able to keep so calm and centered when many of the kids make fun of you and put you down?" I told her that it was really easy. And the reason it was easy is because in the one area where I could perform well, remember I told you I was a left-handed pitcher, they chose me more often than not to play because I was really good at it. And explained to her there was no issue. Well, we became friends, Della and I. And one day we were sitting and talking in the lobby of her apartment building, and she put her arms around me and gave me a kiss. I was surprised, and she said to me, "You are a terrible kisser." Well, I must have been a terrible kisser because here I was 14 years old and I had never kissed a girl. And she said to me, "I'm going to teach you. And you're going to do it again and again and again until you get it right." Weight loss is not a diet. And I'm going to try to get through you again and again and again until you understand how to take control of your life and never have a weight problem again. One of the things I learned about doing it again and again and again is that almost every single time I learned something. And according to my wife, she says I'm a good kisser. What I have been saying to you is the reason people have a weight problem is because they have an abnormal functioning hypothalamus. Our program addresses that. And once you understand what that means, you can see and will see the impact on your life. The hypothalamus controls satisfaction, and it controls the brain's ability to count calories. I told you there are three kinds of fat. The fat that surrounds your organs, the fat that is the normal fat throughout your body that gives us energy. And there's a third kind of fat. It's called survival fat. And that particular fat is the one that's most difficult to access. And once you do it, radically changes the shape of your body. We focus on that. And that's why we use the acupressure. And that's why, if you're lucky, we're taking in, food-wise, 500 calories a day. When the FDA and its nutrition facts bases most everything on a 2,000 calorie a day regimen. So when we're on weight loss, using that as our backdrop, we're short 1,500 calories a day. That's a lot of calories. And since 3,500 calories is a pound, gee, isn't that something that we should pay attention to? Now, if you understand that this program is scientifically designed and chemical, and focus on that without thinking of other kinds of things, you will understand that most of our critics, if not all of them, don't know what they're talking about. And if you press them as to their criticism, you will find that they truly do not have a substantial answer to satisfy their point of view. So, step number one, we must stick to the chemistry of the food in the program together with the acupressure, and weight loss and radical change in the shape of your body will take place. And it's one of the reasons you hear me often telling you, take a picture front forward, take a picture side view, and then several weeks later, do it again on your phone camera. It's private, and you will see the change in the shape of your body. So the program is chemical. The program uses chemistry. The program changes the way your body looks. Dr. Chu, in his wisdom, decided to add to the program the Qigong Breathing. And he explained to me, and remember, we're going back to before the year 2000. He explained to me he was using it to increase the flow of oxygen through your body, to give you more energy, to make you feel better, and that the more you did it, the greater the impact on your body. Now, since then, we've discovered stuff that I had no idea about as science has advanced. Now, Dr. Chu said to me, and I didn't understand it, that Qigong was from the Chinese martial art of Tai Chi, but that it was, and he called it, a form of meditation. Now, meditation is putting your mind in a state that is different, it's relaxed, and in the present. Many people do meditation, and there are many forms of meditation. My problem has always been with it that I either didn't or couldn't find the time to do the Qigong breathing. Dr. Chu, however, insisted and taught me it. And what I found out, it helped with attention, concentration, focus, and it was an incredible relaxer. And here is the key. Our doing of the Qigong in the program takes very little time, and if done properly, can change your life. Now, one of the things that I have discovered is that meditative exercise actually helps prevent your brain from shrinking. So when you do meditation, you're getting a better and bigger brain. One of the things I also found out is that when I had the opportunity and actually did meditate, it emptied my head of negative thoughts. So that when I finished, I was not only relaxed, but it impacted on my mood. Interesting. Another thing I found out, and much more so when practicing as a psychologist, that the act of meditating markedly reduced the amount of pressure and anxiety that I felt and that my patients felt. They were more relaxed. They were less anxious. They were more able to deal with day to day. Another thing that I found out is that when I finished meditating and when I did it with the Qigong, I was more focused. I was more attentive. I was sharper. Things were clearer. And then in the last 2 years, I discovered something else. I discovered what Dr. Chu wasn't certain of, but the reason he incorporated the Qigong breathing, which is not part of the original program. And that is, it slows and reverses the aging process. Now, think about that. All of our lives are filled with stress. We've got pressures all over the place. We'd love to do this. We want to do this. The demands on us are endless. Now, meditation, Qigong breathing, does not eliminate that stress. What it does is even better, because we live in an environment which is what it is. Whether it's this stress or this causing you anxiety, it's going to be there. That's the life we lead. This is the environment that we live in. But when you do the exercise properly, and that's what I'll get back to in a bit, your ability to handle that stress, the ability to handle that anxiety, the ability to be clear as to what is going on is better, is sharper, it's more relaxing, you become more efficient, and it only takes a little bit of time. And that's where doing it again and again and again is the critical part. Many of you resist. No big deal. Yeah, I do it once or twice. You miss out on the true change and impact that it will have on your participation in day-to-day activities in the world. It'll make your brain bigger. Your thought process will improve. And the issues that go on around you will not impact on you in the same way that they have in the past. Your mood will improve. Your judgment will get better. Problem? You have to do it again and again and again to get it right. each time that you do it, and it takes a few weeks. The impact on you will be incredible. Now, what I've discovered, and I shared that with you, is that the Qigong breathing cumulatively is a form of meditation. So instead of spending, there is a Zen thinking that says, do you need to meditate? Yes, 30 minutes a day. And if you can't meditate 30 minutes a day, you should do it for an hour. Qigong breathing cuts through all of that because it appears that the quality of it broken up into small pieces is cumulative. Now, let's focus on that for a minute. It's cumulative. So therefore, number one, it's in small pieces. Number two, the more I do it, the better the effect. And not only better the effect, but time-wise, if I do it on a regular basis, the effect becomes cumulative. I have not interfered with my daily functioning, but something goes on inside me that makes me feel better, more in control, sharper, more relaxed, and look at me. I'm getting younger all the time. So let's focus on what it is that I'm talking about. Dr. Chu said to me, do your beads. Your beads will enable you to avoid becoming hungry. Your body will not realize that it's being starved. It will activate the survival fat, and the shape of your body will change dramatically. Now, let's focus on you, Dr. Schwartz. When I met you, remember what I said? He said, you cannot be an overweight doctor. He used different terms. And he said to me, I'm taking you to the hospital with me. You're going to be my assistant. And I'm going to teach you how to take back control of your life. I want to help you not just lose the weight, not just keep the weight off, but I want to teach you how to take back the control. that will make you feel so much better, so much stronger, so much more independent. Now, let's do it together. We're going to do it in pieces. And remember what I said. We're going to do it again and again and again until not only do you get it right, but you begin to recognize how your mental state is changing to a place where you become more effective and more efficient. Now, step number 1. With your mouth closed, not yet, with your mouth closed, I want you to take a full breath in through your nose and hold it. While you're holding it, understand you can feel the pressure of it being held. And I want you to focus on that feeling. And when I tell you in just a moment, I want you to start forcing the air as slowly as you can out through your mouth. And I want you to feel the pressure being reduced, how relaxing it gets, until you begin to feel a little uncomfortable. And then I want you to stop, and I will enter into it again. Now through your mouth, very slowly, relax. Feel how good it is. Think how relaxing it is, how focused it is, how good it feels, how the pressure is going down. Thoughts are trying to pop up. Think of the relaxing. Don't fight the thoughts. Just relax, 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 relax. Feel how good it is. And now, breathe normally. 1, 2, breathe normally. 3, breathe normally. 4, relax. Breathe normally. 5. And now we're going to do it together. Mouth closed. Full breath in through the nose. Feel the pressure building. And now, no waiting. Immediately force the air out as slowly as you possibly can and focus on the pressure going down. Focus on how the pressure is moving away. Relax, relax, relax. Don't worry about any thoughts that are surrounding you. Just be aware of what's going on. Relaxing, relaxing, relaxing. How mindful you're becoming of what's going on. And now, breathe normally a second time. 1, breathe normally. 2, breathe normally. 3, breathe normally. How good it feels. 4, 5. How good that was. And now all together, mouth closed. Full breath in through the nose. Lungs filled. Now out through the mouth. Relax. Thoughtfully relax. Notice how it's emptying your mind. Relax. Relax. Recognize how good it feels as you relax, as the pressure is going down. It's happening. Relax. 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 How good it feels. Relax. And now breathe normally. 1. Breathe normally. 2. Breathe normally. 3. 4. 5. And now the last time. Mouth closed in through the nose. Full breath. Pressure building here. And now out through the mouth. Slowly. Very slowly. Very slowly. Relax. Relax. Pressure going down. Relax. 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 You're training your brain. It's emptying out. All those pressure thoughts are disappearing. But your brain is growing sharper and smarter and smoother and bigger and more capable. Relax. Now, the key here is, remember the voices? They're there for all of us. They're going to get quieter and quieter. And you're going to be focusing on what's going on inside you. You're emptying out your head. You're getting rid of all the poisons. Remember all of those experiments that you've seen and heard about. They've tried them on radio where people would go on for X number of hours without any sleep. And remember what happened. They always go nuts because sleep is the body's way of renewing. Oxygen is critical in that process. And as you empty your head on a cumulative basis, your body will begin to heal. And as your body begins to heal, you become sharper. You become more aware. Your mood begins to change. The feeling of relaxation is something that feels so good, like when you've had a really good night's sleep and you wake up and everything opens around you. Now, the problem here is you have to do it. It will not do it for itself. And you're going to have to do it on a regular daily basis. For those of you who are willing, I recommend you do it every time you do the beads, not together. First, do the beads, then 4 Qigong breaths with 5 seconds between each breath where you breathe normally relaxing. And you will notice as the days go on, the feeling process changes. The mindful process changes. You become sharper. You become more focused. Your mood begins to change. You're more relaxed. And as this happens, you begin to take back what the pressures of life have taken away. You're going to be healthier. You're going to be more relaxed. You're going to be stronger. And I can't prove it, but look at me. I do it at least 4 or 5 times a day. You know how many hours a week I work. You know my age. It's changed me dramatically. And if you remember, I told you about 2 weeks ago, while on the Garden State Parkway, southbound, and I've told you I go into the left lane because I'm traveling about 50 miles. And I sit in that left lane going a few miles over the speed limit. And there was this guy came up behind me. I was doing 73 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone. And he was pounding on his horn. He was flashing his lights. And you could see he was angry and agitated. I saw him in my rearview mirror. But I was also passing every single car that was in the lane next to me on the right. He wanted me to go faster. I wasn't going to go faster because I've estimated that I can get away with 7 or 8 miles over the speed limit and not be stopped. Whatever his issue was, I was going too slow for him. I would have had to slow down, find a space to get over into the right lane, and I would have had to markedly slow down because I was passing every car in that lane. Finally, there was an opening. He cut out to the right, pulled in front of me, slowed down, I slowed down, and then he took off. About 4 miles down the road, I caught up to him. His in and out and screaming and yelling did nothing. In fact, all the way down the parkway, because he was going someplace, he kept pulling away and I kept catching up. I was focused, relaxed, except for the first moment. When he pulled up behind me and I saw him yelling and screaming and beeping his horn and flashing his lights, mentally, I lost it. I called him a name. He couldn't hear me. And the feeling of anger flooded me. I had the presence of mind to do the Qigong. By the time I was finished with the Qigong, I started to smile because I had caught up to him, and all his ranting and raving got him nowhere. And the cost to me was minimal. That can happen with all of us if we make ourselves important enough to do it again and again and again. We will notice the difference. We will get it right. And the benefit to you will be incalculable. And it really works. The key is, do you really want to take charge of your life and feel better about it? I'm going to ask some questions now, and I want to say that this has been a pretty good week. Many people have written in questions to me. And since I believe I have a lot to teach you, I've enjoyed those emails, and I would love to answer all of you. Question number 1. Pardon me. I just signed up for the remote plan. Why do I need to send ear photos to get started? When Dr. Chu first trained me, as you know, there are 12 different acupressure points. Only one of them is active at any one point. The other 11 are dormant. So the odds are 12 to 1 that if you do it by yourself, you're going to pick the right acupressure point. After the second week, one point has been used, and they don't come back for 2 to 9 weeks. After the first week, you would come into the office, and by touch, I would palpate, find the active acupressure point. I would change your beads, and off we would go. In the remote program, I have your basic statistics, but I'm not Plastic Man. I can't take my finger through the TV or whatever and touch you behind the ears. And so I ask you to take a photograph. I enlarge those photographs. Am able to determine the active acupressure point and transmit it to you. After the first time, the algorithm that I shared with you came from Dr. Chu, and with all of the statistics involved, once you give me your new weight, which changes the algorithm, the computer chooses the next acupressure point. And with the acupoint finder, it's very simple to have your beads changed to make sure they're placed accurately. And it works. There's nothing arbitrary about it. And remember, when the beads are placed properly and massaged, satisfaction is achieved very quickly. Question number 2. I successfully did AccuWeight 12 years ago and kept the weight off until 2 recent surgeries. Is it safe to do the program post-surgery? There is only one qualification, and the answer is yes. The qualification is that your doctor says he feels you can diet. AccuWeight loss is totally healthy. In the 25 years that we've been in business, I have never had any negative feedback as to a person becoming unhealthy doing the program. I said that in a negative kind of way, so you will understand. If you do the program properly, everything about you is going to improve. Next question. My son is getting married next month. Should I start maintenance now so that my body is ready to eat at the rehearsal dinner and at the wedding? Also, I still have more weight to lose, but I don't want to miss out. Lovely, wonderful question. My answer is, I want you to enjoy this event in your life. Going on maintenance makes no sense at all. What you need to do is we set up a schedule for the wedding, the rehearsal dinner. I teach you how to eat during that period of time. You will participate, you will enjoy, you will have fun, including wine or something similar if you want. And then it's only going to be a weekend. You will come back and we will restart the program with 2 dairy days, and the weight loss will go on. You'll have the satisfaction of participating. You will not have to deal with any meaningful weight gain. You'll have had a terrific time. And I hope the kids are happy and good for each other, because that's the way it should be. Is there a discount for referrals? The answer is no. However, if you refer someone and they sign up for a program, for each referral that you give, I will give you an additional free week on the program, meaning no cost. I'm not at home. Is it okay to have a latte from a restaurant? The answer to that is a qualified yes. Everything depends on what they put in that latte. If there are no added sugars, on a one-shot, a skim milk latte would not be of concern. I would recommend, if you're on the program, a whole milk latte, and that the sweetener be a stevia-like product. And I see no reason why you should not, at any time, avail yourself. And depending upon the restaurant, the odds are they'll be able to accommodate you. Can I use Ripple milk but regular yogurt? The answer is yes. Those of you who are using the Ripple milk are doing so because you wanted a vegan alternative. For whatever the reason, that's not an issue. We deal with it normally. Yogurt is a matter of choice, and I always am happy about whole milk yogurt. And if a person is lactose intolerant, the active enzymes in the yogurt seem to alleviate any lactose intolerant problems. So the answer is yes. Whatever you choose, as long as you're staying within the parameters of a dairy day, not an issue. We need to continue this dialogue. There is resistance to dialogue. Everybody has an answer. Everybody has their own perception. That's why we have a totally individualized lifestyle change when we go to phase 2 of stabilization. What I do to stabilize my weight, the odds are exceptionally high that you would not want to live that way. It's healthy my way. I've been doing it for years, and it works for me. If you did it, you might hate it, and it wouldn't work for you. And because you might hate it, and because it might not work for you, you would stop doing it. And that's the reason why almost every program that I am aware of does not have a successful stabilization and maintenance program. If I tell you how to live, how long before you look at me and say, I don't care if it works. I hate what you're making me do, and I'm not going to do it anymore. Instead, who knows you better than you? Then if we work together and create a lifestyle that works for you, who are you going to fight with? Yourself? And then you don't have to, because if your particular lifestyle has changed, then let's change your lifestyle. Remember, we have a judge who tells us the truth 100% of the time. He's called the scale. He has no emotion. He says, how you've been eating this week. You stayed the same, you lost, you gained. What better answer do we have? It's totally objective. It's by someone who doesn't care at all except to tell you the truth. And if you decide to change your lifestyle, all we have to do is to check in with the judge. Good talking to you. Keep those cards and letters coming. I'll have more to say next week. Take care, all.